I'm done sleeping. This day gon' be a good day. Me no competing. Me go activate, celebrate, exfoliate. Ooh yeah, yeah, yeah. This feels so good. Ooh yeah, yeah, yeah. I most definitely should activate, 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 activate.
Right now we're talking to our queer talent / performers, and we have Olwe, Mr. Olivet, Sally Work. Sorry guys, I'm so sorry. Well, let's get into it. Please introduce yourselves and what you guys are all about, and also the pronouns that you guys actually identify with. Anyone can go first.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Sally Work. My surname is WERQ, so you can get me on Instagram as Work Sally, for those that don't know me. But yeah, my pronouns are, when I'm in drag, she, her. But yeah, if you're nasty, you can call me Madame. So.
If you're nasty, okay.
Hi guys, I go by the name of Mr. Olivet, the superstar of the century.
Okay.
Mr. Queer Mafia. I don't really believe in that stuff. Just address me in a respectful way, and you can call me whatever the fuck you want to call me. Hey, sorry for swearing, but yeah.
Safe space, safe space.
Hi, I'm DJ Olwe. I'm a DJ. I just said it. And you can call me anything you want as well. You can go wild.
Okay. Thanks, guys. And please describe the child performer that you were, even if you guys weren't public with it as yet.
Jeez. I think that child performer, I probably idolized, don't hate me for this, guys, but it was like Britney and, Beyonce from Destiny's Child. But yeah, I mean, I was doing the most in my bedroom, and being a Malay / Indian Muslim boy growing up, you just had to hide that side of you, and yeah, I mean, doing the dances and stuff in your bedroom, that was my gig. But yeah, that was me as a young performer.
Okay. Mr. Oliver?
So I started understanding that I'm an artist from a very young age. I started, obviously, because my grandmother's a pastor, I started dancing in church, youth, children's church vibes. I was there, and I would choreograph with my older aunt, Eve, and would, get the whole situation together, perform and put on a great, holy, spiritual moment. Right, then in 2007, I went to Dance Web, which was a dance studio in Parkmore. And from there, this is what I was like, probably like 10 or like 11-ish. So it was church, and then I was like, no, let's take this seriously, Aftercare now needs to be a real sport. Because I was never like a soccer nigga or whatever, Then, Dance Web happened, I quickly became a teacher there like a year afterwards. After I was like, I'm not going to pay. I can't pay. The kids are asking me for lessons now,
Okay.
And then I went to the Eastern Cape, started a few classes there, heartbeat dance classes. Now I'm with Jiva Babe, and because I come from a musical background, my family has a lot of artists in the family. So we've always appreciated and tried to nurture an artist, So I must say my child performer was valued in a way. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I was just always imitating my faves. It was always Boom Shaka to Abashante to Lebu to whoever was popular at the time. So it was always the artist of the time. It was Janet Jackson when All Night came out. It was always, I was always going with whoever's there. So that's who I was at any given time. I could be wearing baggy cargo pants at the time because that's what Janet Jackson's doing. I could be wearing, straws on my nails because
Straw
Those were the
for your
boom shaka
nails.
nails at the time. So
The one that curled and did
that's-
this.
I was always there. So
Yeah.
at any given time, I was whoever was in at the time.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and when did the penny drop and you guys decided to do this publicly and actually make a career out of it?
Well, as I mentioned, I obviously was closeted, etc. But yeah, I mean, I moved to Johannesburg in 2012, and I met really amazing people. Did drag for my first time at Pride. Looked a hot mess, but she was there, and that was still with the Rosebank one. You know, I'm glad I got that experience of a Pride, because after that, obviously, went a little bit downhill. But yeah, then from 2014 onward, I did a little competition, drag competition, and I haven't looked back. Yeah, just your talent and I think your craft, you know, grows and shapes over time, and you never reach the perfection. There's always like, okay, I want to tweak it a little bit this way, this and that, and yeah, you're always learning and always growing. So yeah, I don't ever feel that I'll be a fully formalized drag artist. I'm still growing and still, you know, evolving. So.
Yeah.
Can you please repeat the question for me?
Okay, so when did the penny drop and you decided to actually take this as a career and actually go public with it?
So, before, obviously, because I grew up in the dance scene. You definitely compete for things, and there's prizes, and there's monies, and there's things like that. There's a reward for the best, right? So, and being a performer, there's nothing about it being public. It's public. You have to, your parents saying to you, them waking you up at night when they're drinking and whatever with their aunts and your uncles or whatever. But it's not jive. They're teaching you
that
to
was me.
stop being shy, and that's not like private, that's public. So there's nothing about performance that's private, right? I did start realizing that I can monopolize the whole situation when Vintage Crew began in 2012, when I was a part of the co-founder Vibes, whatever, all that history, right? I realized that you can actually make some cash off this thing and work for it. It's not about a prize anymore. It's about you're booked for the gig now in a way. And then Mr. All of It happened, and I took the dancing and I put the fashion aspect of the whole design together. And now I can be the actual performance, do you know what I mean? And make money off the person and the gift, you know? So I don't believe, the question's weird for me because there's nothing public about, there's nothing private about performance, period, you know? You have conversations, you're in school, there's a talent show, there's that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and mine was sort of the same. It was always, you know, being asked to dance at home, and then it evolved into school shows, and then there was a point where I used to be an actual dancer, and I realized that dancing is not what I do, because I can't be in the background. So, and then that evolved into then DJing and actually dancing as I DJ. So that was all part of it, but it all evolved over time to what it is now. So it was, oh my gosh, from when I was a child, I always knew that I'm going to perform, I'm going to dance, but it all came to what it is now.
Okay, and what motivated you guys to continue performing after the first performance?
For me, it was just really being good and the energy that I got from it. So getting that energy, the feedback afterwards, and also the feeling, such a good feeling to be on stage. So just after that and the electricity afterwards, because it doesn't happen during. During you're just thinking of your moves, but at the end of it, it was always just, oh my gosh, this was amazing. I want to do it again. So it was just that constant need to do it again, but also not feeling great and doing other things, because I do other jobs, I've done other jobs as well, and they don't feel quite as good as being on stage. So it's not the same feeling, it's not the same thing. It never feels as fulfilling. So that's what keeps me going, and that's what's kept me going, is that every single time I do something else, it just isn't as good.
Okay.
It doesn't make me as happy.
All right. Let's do all of it.
I'm gonna be weird again and ask you to repeat your question.
Okay. What was the damn question? What motivated you to continue performing after the first performance?
What motivated me? I think it's as Olwe has expressed. It's definitely the energy and the vibrations you feel when you're on stage. You definitely feel like you're born to do this as you're doing it beyond the reviews. And you it's also like a thanksgiving. It's like, you're living in your gift. So it's like there's no sort of, you're motivated because you're doing what you were born to do. That's how I take that. Yeah. So that's what motivates me, is that I do kind of believe that whoever brought me to earth wanted me to be Mr. Olovich,
Work, Sally?
So what motivates me is aesthetic and fashion, for example, as well. I don't have any formal dance, lessons or schooling behind me and that, but I just feel that there is some star power in me, and I see that when I look in the mirror. Whatever everyone else thinks, is obviously their opinion and that. But so what motivates me is basically just wanting to fulfill that desire to be that star in that moment or wherever it is, basically.
How has heteronormative culture affected your journey as a queer performer? Anyone can start.
All right. So, I don't know if you guys know about like the scar here, right? It happened at Sumo. I don't know if I'm allowed to drop things like that. So it happened in
Safe space.
yes. So things. I was literally. It's like if we're in this kind of setting.
Yeah.
And I walk in from that side, and I'm coming to greet somebody that's on this side, right? And there's other niggas chilling here, right? So I walk in here. This side of the club is happy to see me. It's a vibe. And then I walk back out the same way because now I'm done the greeting, This nigga here says to me, "Don't walk this way." So like I'm like, what again? And I continue walking, and then obviously because of the decor and the cranberry juices of the world, the guy takes the jug of Dash and he throws it on my back, right? Wow. So I turn around and I'm like, hold on, he's still holding the jug, right? And then he like smashed it in my face and whatever. I had to get stitches or whatever. We're not trying to sob something here. But what I'm trying to say is, and I haven't stopped going to those kinds of spaces because those are the spaces that need to transform, right? So for me, it's like, shit, this scar is like, now it's just added a little bit, extra decor on my face, and it's like memorable in a way, and I had to forgive that person. Because my job and the reason why I'm on earth is to actually be in those spaces. If we're not in those spaces, there's no change happening. And the people who need to be educated about this situation aren't hearing the information, So it's just basically about going and representing something that's bigger than you, I guess, and things happen, right? But you can't. You need to know that people are getting killed in Uganda. People are, you know what I mean. Here we still hot in a way, but now it's about us being hot in a way that's confident, in a way that's in a way that's respectful. Because I know that people are gonna bash me when I say this. That a lot of us gay people think our sexuality is a personality, and I mean you can't have one without the other anyway. But now what I'm trying to say is we also need to be responsible as queer people, because the world is a very big place. And yeah, I'm sorry for speaking so long. I just feel like we definitely need some sort of understanding, and we need to stop thinking we're creating spaces when our little creation, yes, the more we create, the more it expands, but we're sort of missing the link and the penetration value.
Anybody
I
want to
think
add?
for me, just heteronormative culture has made me braver and more persistent, because they treat those spaces like you shouldn't be there. So the whole point of staying, I mean, queer spaces are only a thing of yesterday. I've been playing for 8 years, so I've been playing in all the clubs all these other years, and that took a lot, and it takes a lot to be able to play at midnight at Taboo. It takes a lot to be able to play at, in deep Soweto at 2 a.m. That's reserved for a very heterosexual kind of DJ. So it's taken a lot of persistence and taking my place, because they're not going to give it to me. So it's taken a lot of saying that I'm here and I'm here to stay and I'm just as good as the rest of you, because the general expectation is always that Olet is going to get here and play Beyonce, Olet is going to get here and play, Leave It on the Floor. But I'm actually going to get there and I'm going to give everyone a good time despite what you think I'm going to play. And it's been, opportunities come. There's been parties, places where I'll play in a Dobsonville and there's a Somizi's after party for June 16. And those people call me a week later and they say, can you come back month end? We'd actually like you to play. And that's how I've built it. It's that you constantly have to prove yourself and you constantly have to fight for your space in it. But those spaces have actually made me a better DJ, in the sense that you always feel like you don't belong there, but you make sure that they feel like you do belong there. So you personally feel like it, but you always make sure that I'm actually not going to get there and be made to feel like I don't belong here. So that's what it's always been like. It's like it's a constant fight. And ever since, it's always been like, oh my God. And it's always, people come, oh my God, it's a gay guy playing. Or especially if they're far away because they can't see. And they'll come closer and maybe they want to, guys like to come to the booth and they want to come like, yo, sister. And then they get there and then they're like, how, Ganti? And some of them even stop dancing. But it's not, I don't care. Because the fact is, I did what I came to do. The fact is, you danced. And the fact is, internally, you did dance. And and the fact is, the only thing stopping you from dancing is your guilty feet. So, otherwise, I did that.
Yes.
So, that's what it is.
Well, obviously the running theme here is tenacity. We as queer people, we need to just own wherever we go. Do not back down. And yeah, I mean, I've been once or twice in drag at a non-homosexual, non-queer space, basically.
Yeah.
And you just have to be there and be, proud of what you're owning in that. And if there's any stairs or sneakers or whatever, just, look past it. But yeah, we have to just stand strong. So that's my part of that.
I want to ask a question. What is a queer or like a non-queer space?
So that's like a heterosexual, or a place that normally heterosexuals would frequent. So not us. I mean, they come to our bars and to our clubs and stuff sometimes, and yeah, they are are welcomed in the space. But for us, if we know it's a queer safe space, that is, it's our space kind of thing. So.
Okay. Sorry to cut you there. I do think that the conversation, right, needs to be more about humanity, guys. Do you know what I mean? We again come back to labeling and come back to segregation in forms that have certain cute undertones and painted in a rainbow and very cute, and do you know what I mean? it's just we just need to start talking about our actual human being. Like, there's no penis, there's no vagina, there's no feeling, there's no like futek in actual fact. It should just be about singabantu. We're human beings. You know, there's no queer space. There's a space, and what do we do with the space? We deal with it as human beings. Do you know what I mean? I feel that we need to try push a humanity sort of, narrative and message.
I mean, just to add on that, it's a beautiful way of thinking. It's idealistic, unfortunately. The reality of it is that you have to identify as something in this world. And it's crazy, yeah, but the thing is, you have to obviously be strong and represent who you are. Yes, we can say that we are all humans and that, but at the end of the day, you are going to get paid less. You are going to be, you're going to...
Okay, guys, thank you for those. What motivates or inspires your work?
Okay, I'll start with this one. What motivates me? Like I said earlier, fashion. And yes, you mentioned, or the previous panel mentioned RuPaul's Drag Race as well. Big phenomenon. It's now obviously become more prolific being on Netflix.
Yeah.
So everyone can get access to it now, basically, all over the world. Or at least the countries that are, gay friendly or LGBTIQ plus friendly. So I would say what motivates me is wanting to, craft and practice my art, which is drag. And as long as there are spaces that allow it and that we feel comfortable and safe in, I will do it for as long as that.
Okay.
I just love making people feel good.
That's good enough.
I just like people being, I love it when someone has a drink in hand and they're having a good time. That's all I want.
Yes.
If you're doing that, you've satisfied me for the rest of the night. It could be one of you on the dance floor, it could be 10 of you, it could be 100 of you. That's all I want.
What inspires my work? I think it's something, because I could say I'm inspired by, and I'm that or whatever, but I do honestly strongly feel that whatever's driving me is what's inspiring me. I can't define it. I can't. If I would put words to it, I would be. I don't know. The words. I don't have words big enough to describe what inspires me. Do you know what I mean? It's my existence. It's the energies, the world, God, the moments,
Okay, and lastly, what message do you guys have for the queer star at home who's too shy to come out of the closet as yet?
I think start. That's the most important thing. I think you just start and you find spaces. We're so lucky now. It's not like before where you had to be a dancer when we were younger. Remember, you had to be you couldn't be a DJ. To be a DJ, it was like, you could only be a drag artist. Now we have rappers, we've got singers, we've got people who are openly queer and are able to participate in every kind of space. So it's a matter of just starting and finding your way to get in, whether it be finding a small stage, and people are the best people to go to. It's always those are the best people to go to, and finding places where you can express yourself. And you have those events now. There are so many events now that it's really hard not to start at all. Because if a taboo's not going to let you do it, the ball's going to let you do it. But you still have to be good also.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
I would say that, if you are not able to be, or have studied dancing or singing or, to become like, a seasoned artist, I would say if you have something that's distracting you, like, maybe you're an accountant or something like that. Coming from me, I work in IT governance, and this is basically just something that I do as a hobby for myself. And I freaking love it. I enjoy it. I luckily work in a space that is, some of my colleagues know that I do drag and that, so they are accepting and they are, freaking amazing. So I just feel that don't feel kept behind or kept back by anything, just go for it, do it on the side, make that your hustle for the time being until it becomes your mainstream. And just keep at it.
Okay.
To you, young. Who's it? Who are we talking to again?
You're horrible. It is the young queer performers or creatives who want to come out, but they're still too shy to actually own who they are.
They need to follow me on Instagram. And then they need to be a part of the queer mafia.
Wow.
And then they also need to come to my parties that I host, because the space and the energy is not controlled by any human being. They need to. I ask myself stupid. No. I have stupid conversations with myself, and let's say I'm a very spiritual human being, so it's very like I'll ask questions to the thin air and be like, so what exactly is my purpose? What exactly is my calling? What am I here to actually do? Why am I here, bro? And we need to pick our brains. We need to lead me to what I need to, like, cover my day, make sure that I'm dope, It's like you need to pump yourself up and make sure that your shit's A grade and you're inspired. And as always said, you need to figure it out. Find it, and make it work. Because,
I think also most importantly, you must never underestimate being surrounded by queer people. You must never underestimate it, because a lot of your friends who are straight will tell you, no, why don't you try just being bold and then doing the same? You're really good, but why don't you try doing it without your hair? Why don't you try? I've had a female friend talk about another friend of mine who sings, and she was like, he has such a nice voice and such nice songs, but if he could cut his hair, he'd have more performances. He'd be a better performer. He'd be so good. And I was like to her, not all of us have the same privileges, and also not all of us want to hide. So you can't expect someone to hide. So being around queer energy and queer people, our own people, it empowers you so much. It's so wonderful to go to. People don't understand why I love Liquid Blue or I love Shakers on a Sunday. It's not because, oh my gosh, it's just I know everyone. No, it's nice to be around other people like us. It's so nice
Empowering.
to go somewhere where you can actually wear snakeskin boots and no one's gonna say anything.
Yes.
It's so sometimes you do, like, most times you just want to be brave and you go everywhere else, and people but sometimes you just want to wear the things you wear and still just be in the crowd and just be ordinary. And those people will pump you up. Like, someone will come to you and be like, yes! And sometimes that's exactly what you need, and you need it continuously. And that's why I love to go there. I'll go to Liquid Blue, and people are like, you overdressed for Liquid Blue. No, I'm dressed like this because I can actually just come here and dress like this and not have to deal with any bullshit and just be myself. And that's why it's important to surround yourself with a lot of queer people.
Sorry,
Wow.
this is not on the topic, but talking about Liquid Blue, why does the floor get so sticky? I just want to know. What are they mopping the floors with alcohol? What's going on?
Stand at the same place.
Well. I love that place.
Stand at the same place.
Guys, okay, wait, just.
I'm gonna use all the airtime I can. I'm dropping a single next week.
Yeah, like
I'm dropping a single next week featuring Muesli. It's called Activate. So I expect everyone to activate. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, on that strong note, thank you so much for coming and joining me on the stage. Enjoy your night further. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for just being here. God bless you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, okay.